Welcome back, everyone. Today I bring you a game with a new division, actually, that I am pretty sure I have never played before. At least I have never shown it before in a video. I think I played it once or twice while practicing for League, but that was about it. And the games were pretty boring, and so I wanted to play it again. Right now, it is one of the best divisions in the game. Because the Americans in general are just very, very good. And so the division is 3rd Armored Division, if you couldn't tell by the symbol. And we're going up against another US division, actually, against the 101st Airborne Division, which is a US division that is not S tier, but still considered to be good. It's a bit weird to rank its power level because you can basically win the game in the first 2 minutes with a heli rush, or lose the game in the first 2 minutes because your heli rush gets countered. So it's a bit ass to play against. But then the longer the game goes, the harder it gets to play with 101st. So yeah, it's just overall a division that is on one hand weird, but on the other hand also kind of cool, because it's just unique and has a lot of unique units, and also introduced a 4th weapon slot, which is very cool. So if you don't know, not most units, but every unit has a limit of 3 weapons maximum. Like with the sniper, we can't see it because they only have 2 weapons. But I mean, in the first place, that might not seem like a big issue, right? But it's just a bit dumb. For example, for the Soviet tanks with ATGMs, you have 1 less machine gun because it just doesn't fit, because you only have 3 weapon slots, so main gun, ATGM, and then the heavy machine gun. But the light machine gun, or medium machine gun, whatever you want to call it, the coaxial one just misses, which is not a big balance issue, but it's just stupid. And with the 4th weapon slot now being a thing, and also being added in the next patch to a bunch of units, this will open up a lot more interesting unit types, and you'll also get leaders with smokes, which was a thing in Steel Division 2, and infantry smokes have just not been a thing at all in WARNO, so this will also be interesting. I'm not sure whether this will be good or bad. I think it will be good, but I wouldn't be so fast on judging how it will turn out. But yeah, well, anyway, talking about the division I am playing, 3rd Armored, at first glance, it might seem like it's actually a bad division for 1v1 because it focuses on expensive units and not a lot of them. And in 1v1, obviously, you need to cover the whole map, well, on your own. But the thing is that its units, while being expensive, are still cost effective. And you also get decent infantry with one of the best IFVs in the game, with the Bradley, which is very good because of its ATGM. You don't really want to use it for its autocannon because the expensive price it has because of the ATGM. So wasting it for its autocannon and getting in range of enemy AT launchers is really not the play. Just keep it back, and the TOW will delete even the heaviest tanks. I think the heaviest tanks take 3 hits, but like medium tanks will mostly die to 2 hits from the front, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very, very strong. And then you also have engineers as a high HP squads. You might even take the what's the hard called now, air cav or whatever, like the helicopter infantry, because they're also a big squad, but I don't take them personally. You get great fighters. Your air support is pretty bad, so that's the only weakness basically of the division, in the sense of like bombers, because your fighters are exceptionally good. Your tanks anyway, and I have seen a few players, especially a wooden box, and I think Teeman also does it, play 3rd or also 11 ACAV with the CEVs, so those combat engineering vehicles, with the, what is it, think 165mm or whatever short barrel HE gun that doesn't do any damage to tanks, but does a lot of damage and especially stress damage to infantry. And those are cheap, have decent front armor, they can survive, for example, a TOW2 to the face, even though low health, but they can still survive. And yeah, will do shit ton of damage, plus they also have a 50 cal. So you can use those again to support your infantry in infantry fights, your low HP infantry. And then with the M1A1 HAs, you have one of the, or I would guess it's actually the most cost-effective tank in the game because of its incredibly high armor and also very good gun. You just have to watch out for it not to get sniped by some ATGM side shots or air. Air defense is also a bit of a weak spot with the chaparrals being pretty good, with good range and accuracy and damage and everything, but this is your best AA you have. So let's look actually at my deployment. Two snipers, one going to the left, one going here to the center. Then I have a fairly light deployment on the left with the Stinger and Fire Team Dragon. And the M2A2, that's the upgraded Bradley with more front armor, which is also a very good unit. I have one fighter, in case this is a heli opener. That's also why I have here 2 Stingers and 2 Chaparrals. Only one fighter, because if it's not an air rush, it will be like an infantry or a mechanized rush, so I still need enough units on the ground to stop him. So that's why I went with such an opener, and then my idea was if it was a heli rush, I would buy in a new fighter. Or a second one, I mean, and keep the F4 alive. I was hearing quite a lot of helicopters, so I scouted it a bit with the F4, and then I saw there was just a bunch of OH-58s. Those are the small helicopters with AA missiles. So that's not a heli rush. So that was at least something good. You can see also like a ITO going into those buildings here. So I deployed fairly defensive into the, like, not into the center sector, but towards the center sector, because one of the first also gets a bunch of forward deployed infantry, and then obviously also the helicopter infantry that can get to places on the map pretty quick. So I thought that I want to keep it defensive here, because as I said, the longer you play with the 101st, the harder it gets. And on the other hand, with 3rd Armored, the longer you play, the better it is for you. So that's why my objective was to just not die in the first few minutes. You can also see I deployed fairly defensively into this sector, but then I didn't see anything, so I moved up with my scout and command to capture it. Infantry is coming in from the back, and yeah, not much going on for the moment, which is fine by me. Like, if nothing's going on, I can't be losing anything, and the longer I have time to build up, the more heavy tanks I will have, and then I can just overwhelm him. The Humvee, not Humvee, the Jeep Scout was missed by some sort of ATGM there. Didn't see it though. Deployed 2 engineers here, by the way, in case he would do an infantry assault into this sector. The engineers would be an important tool to hold them back. 84, like the fire teams, the 84 or Dragon, doesn't matter, they have the same squad size. Wouldn't be enough, because one of the advantages of 101st is that they get a bunch of very, very big infantry squads. So yeah, that was the reasoning behind that. But still wanted to have one just for its AT launcher and the Bradley. Now you can see he bought in a mortar and is smoking here. I was a bit confused by that. I was thinking that he might do it because, especially now that I spotted the Humvee, that he wanted to do it to get his Humvee into here safely. Which is a decent idea, I guess, to not get sniped. Even though he should have enough recon information here, but we all know how broken stealth is at the moment and how useless recon is, so I guess it's a fair call to make. And nothing much is going on at the moment. I bought a second command to capture the left sector, because in the beginning I only bought one command to capture the +2 sector, because, I mean, those 3 sectors are the most valuable on the map. So you want to capture your +2 back sector as early as possible, in my opinion. You can see I bought in 2 CEVs because I didn't see any tanks. So my thinking was that well, he must have a bunch of infantry in here, which also would make sense, right? And that would be the perfect time to use the CEVs. But because nothing is happening, I'm a bit afraid that he might prepare an helicopter rush. Air is also pretty weak for 101st in the sense of bombers. So that's not really much I have to worry about, but some sort of helicopter, like overwhelming helicopter rush might be a thing. Or he's setting up infantry to then push through here. It's very unlikely that he will push through the left-hand side, simply because you'd only have a 1-point sector, which both are fairly far back. So most people don't even bother going through here, especially because both sides have some very good defensive villages on their respective side of the map. So yeah, not really much going on, but then I see an Abrams going up here, which was a bit concerning. But I mean, I have a Fireteam Dragon and a Bradley there, buy in an Ito, just in case he actually does go for some moves here, God knows. And then I see Howitzer starting firing on my Chaparral. Unluckily, he gets routed before I can retreat him. Was hoping he would still be able to survive, but unfortunately he is not and gets killed. Or it, I guess. It's not a man, it is a thing. And yeah, so that's what he was buying the whole time. Howitzers, which is unusual for 101st. Especially because, I mean, he's ahead, but it's like not that far ahead. It will just take me capturing this zone or contesting this zone for his advantage to be gone. So I was really surprised by that. But I guess it kind of works, right? Because he is still at a +2 and there's no real way for me still to push in. You can also see I bought an M1A1 HA. The idea behind it was that if you buy in a heavy tank early on, your enemy can't have a lot of heavy AT weapons. Like he might have one TOW2 maybe, but it's very unlikely that he has like 2 or 3 sitting in this sector, especially because the TOW2 you only get 3 of them, right, per card. And if he has a dragon there, I mean, even a dragon 2 will not do much damage to the M1A1 HA with the 21 front armor. Apparently he sees a Bradley there, which is fair enough because I was assuming that he has a recon squad in there, so the Bradley dies to his howitzers again. You can also see that I am starting to buy my own artillery now as an answer to that, because I mean my artillery is just better because it's mobile. Sorry, I had to take a sip of water there to stay hydrated. And yeah, well, so if he wants to play the artillery game, I'm all up for it, because I most likely will win that. And with me focusing on tanks and, well, all kinds of armored vehicles, it is way easier for me to dodge his artillery strikes with my valuable assets. Like the Chaparral here was unlucky because it got stunned. And I mean, obviously it is also low HP and unarmored. But otherwise, like an M1A1, if it's full health, will not die to 155 barrage. So yeah, he has a TOW2 in the building there. You can see the CEV survives on 1 HP. M1A1 gets instantly stunned by a dragon and a TOW2, which, yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Also brought in a quick fix to have some recon, and with 40% ECM and 8 health, it is a fairly decent recon helicopter to have, because it's also survivable, because that's a problem with most other recon helicopters. And yeah, I lose a bunch of M113s, but keep all my armored vehicles alive. I mean, the push has failed, so that's not good, but I mean, I haven't lost anything too valuable, and I know approximately where his positions are, and so now I can start artillerying him, or counter-batterying his mortars and howitzers, so not sure about that one for the moment. But with both howitzers being on the front line now, I at least have the tools to counter him. And I went for this tower because I was assuming that he has a GSR recon squad there, which can see all this stuff that I have in the back there. And I mean, in general, it's just a very good tower, right? So that was my first target. And also because, I mean, you might ask yourself, why didn't you just artillery this tower here. Well, because logically I was assuming that he would start moving his TOW2 from here, because he just fired from there and I retreated, so naturally he would want to reposition. I can see a TOW2 firing from there now, at my Bradley, so there's definitely something in there. Bradley smoke off the Bradley and retreated, do not lose it. TOW2 gets out alive, unfortunately, also wasn't hit a single time, because RNG was just horrible in this case with the artillery barrage. He was moving in towards here, so I assumed that he would be moving it into this building. So I started the next barrage there to kind of predict his TOW2 positioning and instantly kill it again. Also, obviously, brought in a supply for the tanks here to repair them up and the helicopter. And yeah, he was smoking again here, so I was a bit worried that he might start an advance. Because why else would you smoke here at this point in time? That was very weird. That's why I bought in the Cobra, in case he has a bunch of infantry moving over the open. Like, I have some support assets here, but because they one of first gets a lot of high health infantry, some would still be able to get through. So the Cobra would be a very good counter. Start artillerying my sniper. So I was able to micro out the building because luckily his howitzers also were missing. And yeah, but I was seeing that a lot of stuff was being bought into this sector here, and in general a lot of artillery was coming my way. And I wasn't seeing anything here, and you see I even moved forward my Jeep Recon, and it's not being fired upon, it doesn't see anything. So I was already assuming that he might have left this sector pretty much undefended. And I mean, I have two engineers here. I have a CEV, a Bradley, 84 squad, even another sniper as recon. So yeah, I was buying in an M1A1 command and preparing a push here. Because there I was not getting into this sector anytime soon. Because you can now see he also has bought in a tank. So he is definitely ramping up his defenses of the center. And yeah, you have to find ways to go around your enemy and not just feed into your enemy, which is hard on maps like this. I have come to like the map more than I did in the beginning, or well, not like despise it less, I guess. It's not as unbalanced actually, but the problem is that it's still like just 2 lanes. Basically, like, unless you want to have an amphibious push over the open, which is, I mean, it can work, but it's very adventurous, definitely. By the way, he artilleries my sniper again and kills him. That was very sage. But my artillery kills the Delta in the tower here. But anyway, so that's kind of the big problem I still have with the map, that there's really no big flanking maneuvers you can do. Because, I mean, the map is pretty big, like you could see, literally 50% of the map is just completely unusable, except for helicopters. This is... I don't understand the map design, honestly. And then also with the fact that, as I said, this lane here is so hard to push, and even if you push through, the gain is minimal. You basically only play on this side here. And yeah, you can see I started my push here. CAV was left in the back. I don't know why. I guess I just forgot. Because it's a Dragon squad, I just drive my M1A1 in close because the Dragon has a minimum range of, I think, 350 meters. So I just overwhelm it. And yeah, so I take the sector, and I was completely correct. There's nothing here to hold. A sniper firing from the church. That's annoying. But I mean, he can't do anything against very armored vehicles. So now I have stopped the tick. He's almost 800 points ahead, which is not good. But with the +2 sector here in the center, if I take it, that would instantly be a +4 for me. So this map is also doesn't have a lot of points like Black Forest, but like the 1 +2 sector more can already be the difference between not being able to come back and being able to come back. Lol. I put my artillery on killing the sniper in the tower because, I mean, first of all, it's annoying and will kill off my squads here slowly. Second of all, it provides a good bunch of recon information. Apache coming in, but Chaparral was in place and luckily hits the first missile. hits the second one, so that was very, very good for me. Because that's a big issue. With my subpar AA, fighting off helicopters will be a real pain in the ass. And diving them is not really that good, because he still gets good close range AA just like me, and also helicopters with stingers, like the cheap ones and then also the Apache ones. So diving in with like a fighter, even the F4, which is cheaper, is really not ideal. You can see I bring in another scout into this forest line, which would have been a way better spot for the sniper to begin with than the building here. So that's a good thing to know for the next game. His artillery is still continuing to strike me. Find this little thing that is considered an AA vehicle, but it's not even a jeep. It's just literally just a platform with 4 wheels and a 50 cal on top of it. So obviously my M113 kills it. Artillery coming in. You also see I brought another M1HA into this forest line because this is a very powerful position. Move up the CEV. So you also have it in here as anti-infantry support. And now you can see I have amassed a pretty big blob of infantry here that I'm moving up. Also moving up the tanks I have. A Stinger luckily misses the quick fix, but I mean 40% ECM, he better missed it. And with just the abundance of all types of armored vehicles and infantry, I am trying to overwhelm him. You can see here, not the best use of the Bradleys, because I said before that you don't want to use them for their autocannon and want to use them for their ATGM. But because I know that my enemy has a very limited supply of armored vehicles, especially with him taking the M1IP, with one vet he gets a maximum of 6 of them if he also takes the command. So I know that I will not really need a lot of ATGMs. And I need to push into the sector though and get rid of the infantry, so in this case I was perfectly fine. Well, not perfectly fine, but it was like an okay trade to take. And while I was able to push forwards a bit, it was not enough to get a good foothold here. The Fireteam 84, I just forgot about them honestly. I used my howitzers now to counter battery all his artillery. Get one howitzer here. That was good. Bought in 2 of the napalm bombers to bomb out his TOW 2 finally, and also the Dragon. I was gambling on them getting through all of those OL-58s. Because I mean every one of them has 60% accuracy, and 3 of them firing at once. That's very dangerous. Luckily both my Phantoms survive, and the TOW 2 dies. But my infantry here is already dead. So that push was really not that great. I guess I killed a few assets, but overall, yeah, not well done by me. Should have used my artillery before, like on the sector before I started the push, or also while I was doing the push. Now the both Phantoms sniped my Phantom that I was trying to retreat, but it was a bit too slow. Get a snipe in return on the Phantom with my AA here. So at least something. You can see most of my infantry in this town here has also died now. But moving forward, my recon jeep, I spotted an Aero Scout, which is a very good unit. GSR squad, 13-man size. So definitely prime target for my howitzers. Stingers were still moving up to counter the helicopters, which now is not the best of ideas because they're completely unprotected. So you see I tried to retreat him, and yeah, put my howitzers on the GSR squad instantly, because I guess he didn't realize that he was being spotted, because he 100% sees the jeep here. So he was just not paying enough attention. Humvee Delta is a cool little jeep that the Delta squad can go in, but as you have seen, it costs 40 points. So, in my opinion, that's a very bad decision to bring in the Deltas in a 40-point Humvee that just has a 50 cal. Like, yeah, it is considered special forces, but is this really necessary? for the squad overall being 10 points more expensive, I don't know. Realizes that his scouts are under fire, but way too late, and gets killed. So that's a very important kill. His artillery is still firing, so I see that the howitzer here has survived. Bruh. In my opinion, infantry howitzers still have too much HP. Like, they have 8 health points. That's just dumb. The tank howitzer has the same health points as just the regular towed howitzer. Yeah. they're already way cheaper and basically do the same and can be very well microed if you just leave the trucks there. It's like one more click. So, yeah, in my opinion, their health should definitely go down a bit. Like 6 HP would already be enough, in my opinion. But 8 is just, it's just stupid. Also want to kill off the chaparral, because he has just left it there for quite some time now. And because he doesn't get a lot of air defense assets as well, I want to kill them off as long as I can. You can see I have brought up quite a few chaparrals now as well. Stingers have survived so far, but are now being killed by his howitzers, so that's really bad. Because he still has, I think, most of his helicopters. I'm not even sure whether I have killed even one helicopter at this point in time. So I really don't want to be losing my AA all that much. Now you can see a new push is being started with more Bradleys coming in again, more infantry. 2 Bradleys already dead, but they have come quite far for now. I was actually quite surprised. 2 fire teams here against 1 aero scouts. It should be an okay engagement. Though with this arrow rifles dragon with full HP is a bit of an issue, especially because somehow those can't see them, even though they have a sightline on the building. Like, yeah, sightlines in this game are still very, very weird. Armored vehicles moving forward. 84 fire team 84 unfortunately getting killed by some vehicles in there, and now very painfully the Abrams gets stuck on the wreck of, I think, a Bradley or an M130, no, a Bradley, and turns its side armor like the second before the ATGM comes in and gets one shot. Yeah, that was very, very dumb. And yeah, nothing really you can do against stuff like that. Sometimes it just happens. So that's really bad, but I have taken the sector over. I have now basically completely pushed him out. Bradley here, yeah, should have really been micro better, because this Apache can easily just pick it off now. You also see I am bringing in infantry on the left-hand side to kind of start a pincer maneuver, like, even though now it isn't even really necessary because I have taken the sector anyway. Engineers coming in as some high HP support. Command being hidden behind the buildings here. He's starting to smoke in here, which was again a bit weird. I will need to bring up supply as well, because those 3 fire teams now are fairly low. I really want to keep them alive. Move the M113s forward just to have a picture of what's going on in there. And with completely capturing the sector, as I said, I'm at a +4 now. He has the M1IP that was sitting on the left flank in this forest line now. Catches off one of my Bradleys with the infantry squad still inside, so that was very bad. Though luckily I spotted it before the second squad could be killed. But this squad is not the one with the dragon, so yeah, that was a bit unlucky. Tries to bring in 2 infantry squads in Chinooks, which was yeah, definitely an idea, but not that good of an idea against 2 chaparrals. Buy in the Eagle, but with both those infantry squads dying, I quickly retreated again. M1IP being stunned down by the Cobra, but it's the Rocket Cobra, so no ATGMs for it to fire on the Abrams. Well, with it being completely stunned down, he will basically have to retreat it. Fire Team 84 did jack shit, by the way, against the M1IP. It do be like that sometimes. And there has really been no offensive on this side, which was weird. His artillery still being a big issue. He's sniping the chaparral again, which was smartly done by him, because he's basically been sniping my AA assets for a long time now. And you can see he's building up his helicopter count more and more, while my AA net is being thinned out more and more. So that was starting to really make me worried. Though I wasn't really noticing it at this time as much. Like the sniping, I mean. Now I see his Eagles are diving in. I went for a quick snipe on the F-15, but I didn't notice that there was a second F-15 there as well. And also I assumed that my F-15 would hit something, but no, lol, it misses all its rockets, by the way, with 65% accuracy, and then gets killed by the Eagle with the worst missile that only have 50% accuracy. Bruh. So, yeah, I mean, going into a 2v1 was dumb, but you would assume that one of the 65% missiles would hit. But it didn't. Though the 50% missile hit me. Well, I mean, you know. That was really sad. Yeah, here the arrow rifles get instantly stunned down by the CEV. That's basically the thing you want to use them for. You can see their reload time is extremely slow. But if they hit once, they do so much stress damage that the infantry squad will either miss or will just get stunned down. So it will 100% miss. Try to counter battery his 155mm howitzers in the back, and managed to do that because they were being really annoying. You can see he sniped off the second chaparral here as well. Eagle coming in and sniping off both my F4 napalm bombers, because why not? Not like they have like 30% ECM or something. So that was again very painful, because I was trying to use the napalm bombers to strafe his Apaches, because I didn't want to use my AA fighters because I was pretty much running out of them, and infantry was not being an issue for the moment. But yeah, both of them just get insta-killed by the F-15, the enemy F-15. That was very sad. Now he's bringing in a bunch of helicopters forward. They snipe off my Apache, which, yeah, is to be assumed. If you have 3 AA helicopters, there was even a 4th that he wasn't even using. I was trying to get some cheeky shots with the heat seekers of the Eagle and the Phantom, but they weren't able to get them off. So I retreated them back, because he was also retreating his helicopters. So I didn't want to dive in and lose my last 2 fighters, because, yeah, as I said, my ground-based AA there's really not that much left. You can see I'm even rerouting the chaparral from the right-hand side. Because I'm pretty sure I have run out of chaparrals at this point. I might have even run out of stingers. Those might be my last stingers. And there's still 50 minutes left. And I'm pretty sure I still have... No, I have killed 1 Apache. The one on the right-hand side, but that's about it. And yeah, one of us can bring a lot of helicopters if they want. So I was beginning to be very worried about this whole AA ordeal. Because, yeah, I don't have anything left. It's everything you can see on the screen is all the AA assets that are in my deck after all the stuff that has been killed. But on the other hand, I've been on a +4 tick for quite some time, and I haven't seen like much of anything coming in here. I mean, I have a recon back there, so I mean, at least if something would come down this road, at least down here I would see it. Also, nothing going on here. So this was again making me very worried, because what is going on? Where is he spending his points on? I have killed a bunch of artillery. So I don't know, maybe he's rebuying the artillery. You can see I'm even trying to push forward the recon jeep. Well, or the other possibility would be for him to buy a bunch of helicopter infantry. Because like if they come in the Chinook, you can see that's like 50 points. With a squad inside that costs, I don't know how much they cost, like 50 or 60 points. Like that's, for both of those squads, that's almost a minute's worth of income. And yeah, mortars firing, artillery firing, so that's what he still had. Spotted a sniper here that was being the bane of my existence, because he was the one spotting the chaparral back there, the Bradley in here in the beginning and stuff like that. And because as a sniper I wasn't able to see it before I moved up. Which is honestly like the only thing I accept. With broken stealth, snipers should actually be very, very hard to spot. That's a cool niche for them to have. It's just that everything else shouldn't be literally invisible. And yeah, then because it's not a Humvee, the 4x4, the Jeep was right beside it. I was able to spot it, and the Cobra finished it off quickly. And now you can see I've also built up quite a defensive line here, at least against anything ground-based. But there is a big push coming in on the right-hand side, which was also indicated by all the mortar fire coming in, and he's doing it very well, because he knew that I have a pretty good support line in the forest here, so he's smoking it off to give his tanks and his infantry a possibility to move forward. The problem was just that I was still able to, well, move them slightly to the left and kill off the infantry that was trying to move through here. So maybe he should have tried to like smoke closer, like around here. Now I'm trying to move my M1 HA forward to engage his tanks, but I was afraid that my HA would not be able to turn in time and get sideshot by his IPs. And so that's why I retreat him to this forest line here. It's kind of a backup support line. It also retreat to Chaparral because I really don't want to lose it. The Stinger is pretty much dead. Like there's nothing I can do. CV being engaged by the M1 IP, and yeah, because it's solely HE, there's nothing you can do against it. M1 IP is pushing through, sniping off the Chaparral, so that was very sad. But because I had a feeling that he would start to extend massively with his tanks, I was buying in my own Apaches now. Smokes off his tanks. But now I know that his tanks are kind of stuck here. Like, he can't reinforce them or like resupply them with smoke. They have used it now, and there's really nowhere for them to go. Artillerying his Chaparral here again. Not much going on in the center. You see, I consolidated a bit because I'm already ahead of him in points, and I didn't want to expose all my units in the front of those buildings. F-15 coming in to strafe the Apache. Tried to land it, but obviously it was way too late. Stinger misses, which is yeah kind of fair enough, honestly, against a 40% ECM. I tried to fly it back and not land it in front of all those tanks, so this didn't work out, unfortunately, but it was a bit of a situation where I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. So yeah, at least the F4 gets killed off on its way back by the 3 Chaparrals I now have on the left hand side, because I was assuming that he would start a helicopter push through here. You can see a bunch of infantry coming in. I was focusing on the fire team squads with the Bradleys because I was seeing 3 tanks here. So that was what I thought would be more needed than something anti-infantry. M1HA kills off 1 M1IP. The command tank though is still alive. Both my fighters are being sent in to kill his fighters. Kill off 1 F-15. Second F-15 is being engaged, but nothing much coming from it, off it for now. Was trying to get an engagement against his tank, but the smoke here made it very weird to find him. But I find him through the smoke and real shot him, get a kill. F-15 gets bullied back by 2 of my fighters, and he surrenders. So that was a fun little game. I actually traded worse than he did, because his artillery was doing a lot of damage over the whole game. Was an interesting idea by him to focus so much on artillery, which makes sense in the map because, as I said, you basically only play on one small lane. So using planes is not that good of an idea because you can saturate the area with AA fairly easily. Well, unless it gets sniped off by the artillery, lol. So that's a decent idea, but I think he just went too hard into the artillery. You can see my kills. M109 here doing a good job. Like that's 1, 2, 105 millimeters and 155 millimeter howitzers counter batteried, and he was still keeping up the fire even towards the end of the game. So he was also rebuying howitzers, and yeah, that's quite a lot of points invested. Plus then also the supply you need for them, and also I killed off 3 Chaparrals. That was also very good. That's almost the whole card, and they only get 1 card of Chaparrals. Yeah, here my M1A1 killing off his M1 IP. The tank fight for him is very, very painful because he only gets the IPs and they're just straight up worse than my M1A1s. So he really needs to support them with helicopters or infantry, or try to go for some side shots. But in a frontal engagement, like he can't even really overwhelm me because I have so many tanks. That doesn't really work. M1HA here not doing that much for its price, honestly. Napalm also being very subpar, but they also, to be fair, were sniped down on their second path, second bombing run by a F-15. With M2A1 at least getting a few kills, but those mule vehicles really not worth it. I think they cost like 20 or 25 points. And yeah, nothing much else that got a lot of kills. Just overall not even out trading him, but killing off the important units to be able to take the sectors. And yeah, he was just over investing into artillery and then also helicopters, but nothing on the ground to push. And then when he did on the right hand flank, it was already too late. And here you can see his 155mm killing actually one whole card of M48 Chaparrals. Then what do we have here? Yeah, the 105mm killing the sniper. Here the other 155 Engineer's Dragon and a Stinger. There's M1 IP also killing the Chaparral. So a lot of my air defense being killed by all of his assets, but yeah, nothing else. Also getting, like, this Apache got a few kills with the Recon Bradley and the normal Bradley. Yeah, I mean, that's an okay kill list, but nothing major. And also you can see I didn't even actually lose that much infantry. I mean, obviously a few squads, but not that much. Which is a weird thing to say, playing an armored division against a division that focuses on pretty good infantry. And that was basically his mistake. Like, he just focused too much on the artillery and sniping off my air defense, but then not going for a decisive push with his helicopters. Like, either you snipe off the AA and do a decisive push with the helicopters, or you snipe off the infantry and then push in with your tanks and, like, in general, ground units. But in this way, it was a bit, yeah, indecisive by him. But I was happy because I haven't played in a few weeks, and for coming back, that was a decent game. Let's see if we will get the new update in the near future. I would hope so. Maybe even when the video is out, there will already be the new update, but we will see. And yeah, hope you liked it, and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.